Hello, I'm Maciej Mikos and you're watching World Talks. The far-right candidates have gathered more than 20% of votes in the first round of Polish presidential elections. The support for extreme right candidate in Romania was even higher, although in the end the country will have a centrist president. And to discuss these tendencies and the current condition of the far-right, not only in our region, we're joined by Zuzana Papazoski, Resident Senior Director for Central Europe at the National Democratic Institute. Zuzana also specializes in democratic systems and party organizing, among many others. So, first of all, how would you explain the record high support for the far right in Poland?
First of all, I want to greet everyone and thank you for having me. We have seen the dominance of law and justice and civic platform in the modern political history, and it leaves a fragmentation on the other side of the political spectrum. If you have a fragmentation always supports more extreme views. And the data shows us there has been a low support for the government with the new government of Donald Tusk being recorded, and naturally when people are disappointed, they look for other alternatives. What I would like to highlight in this case that we have one very vulnerable demographics, and that's the young voters, especially the voters in the age group 18 till 29, who yet again turned up in this election in very high numbers. If we saw in the 2023 parliamentary election, the turnout in this demographic around 70%. In this first round, it was the record high 73%. And we all know that in this age group, the support for far right or political alternatives not represented in the government are even higher. And the support for Konfederacyja's candidates Sławomir Mencen and Grzegorz Braun together were over 40%.
Mm-hmm. I understand the sentiments among the young people as they, simply tend to rebel. But there's something I fail to understand. It's why we have no indication of such tendencies in opinion polls.
This is not the first time. We saw it with the election of Donald Trump in 2016, Brexit election, referendum, and it often happens that supporters of more extreme candidates wouldn't disclose their preferences when approached by the pollsters. And as well, often this demographic or people who rather support the extreme or more far-right candidates decline to answer when approached. This is very common, and then you have the more urban liberal vote is overrepresented in the sample. We shouldn't as well underestimate other factors, like for instance, more recently, we definitely have a trend of voters deciding on whom to support as they vote to the polling station or at the very last moment. And often the polls are as well not able to kind of clearly measure the trends which are appearing just shortly before the election when you have the silence on the publishing of the polling results. So it's really a mixture of factors, but people will tell you that even heavy rain can impact the turnout on the election day, and it all gets reflected in the electoral results.
Right, but the growing popularity of the far right is something we observe for quite a long time now. And I'm wondering now, given the rate that its popularity grows, can the far right aim to dominate the political stage in Poland soon? And also I'd like to ask you the same question when it comes to the European Parliament.
I think that would be too ambitious, but definitely we are seeing a rise of the influence of the far right parties. We simply have, we need the liberal politicians and the mainstream politicians get better at listening to what people are actually saying. I think we have many voters in Poland, but as well across the world, who were kind of left behind by different transformations, by globalization. They simply don't feel represented. And simply the far right or more populist political movements often offer very simplistic solutions to very complex problems, which are appealing to them in a way that uses on emotions. So they are actually much more effective. And I think this is kind of a wake-up call for the mainstream political parties to really get better and start listening to what their voters are saying.
Just to remind our voters, now given the elections of the last weekend alone, it was more than 22% for the Chega party in Portugal. It was nearly 45% for Georgia Simeon in the presidential elections in Romania, and more than some 21% for two extreme right candidates in the first round of the Polish presidential election. Now, the far right usually promotes some, nationalist ideas, right? But all the parties seem to somehow cooperate, at least in Europe. Now, how to explain it?
I mean, I think they share common policy goals. They fight they fight institutions which are kind of like globalistic, but as well their common agenda is to fight immigration, rather focus on traditional values, promote patriotism. So I think there is a lot they share in common, and I think as well the mainstream political parties and liberal parties should get better at cooperating and maybe focusing more on issues that unite them rather than those things which divide them. So I think that definitely there is a common policy goals which are shared among those far right nationalistic parties across the world.
Is the current U.S. administration openly promoting far right movements in Europe?
I wouldn't. I think that frankly we are overestimating the impact of countries from abroad. I think most of those issues are homegrown, and the support for far right it's a result of domestic voters not feeling represented by the mainstream and by the liberal elites kind of failing in delivering on issues which are the key issues for common people and voters.
Right. Now, lastly, because there's also a tendency we observe in Europe lately, is adopting the far right narrative, working in the long run for the traditional mainstream parties. Now, won't voters simply choose the original over the new ideas coming from the left or from the center?
I mean, I would say that the original is much more authentic, and we as well are saying that one reason why far right parties are being so successful it's the authenticity. They speak, in the language the common people speak. They reflect on real problems on common people, often using emotion to tackle those issues. Communication channels which are used as well. We haven't really touched on the issue of importance of social media and social media communication. So I think that those are all these factors which make them very, very successful. And I would yet again want to highlight the importance on focusing on the young people, because this is where we see this tendency the strongest, and as well then it gets reflected in the elections, because that's the most popular ways how young people get engaged. It's the voting in elections, and we have to make sure that they are part of the conversations, that the issues the government represents actually speak and reflect their needs, because they are one of the leading demographics left behind.
Zuzana Papazoski, Resident Senior Director for Central Europe at the National Democratic Institute, was our guest this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Good night.
And thank you for watching, and stay with us for much more news and features here on TVP World.